All right.
So I love the way you start your videos. So first of all, thanks for joining me. But do you want to introduce yourself the way you normally do, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm Old and in the Way. How you all doing?
I love it. Every time I hear it, I laugh. It's brilliant. It's the best YTPC name, I think, or certainly in the top 3. Amazing. But Gary, thank you very much for joining me tonight and taking time out of your weekend. I believe this is an important weekend, or is that a secret?
No, it's not a secret. It is my birthday weekend.
There you have it, folks. Was it on Sunday?
Sunday, the 21st. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
I'll be sure to send you a little message.
No presents, but
No. Don't know you that well yet. No, I'm only joking. Maybe by the end of this, you'll be getting a special present.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks very much for joining me. We'll start off. I just wanted to also ask about your namesake. How did that start, or what made you Old and in the Way?
There's a bluegrass band of some not great renown, but some great players in it. Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead is a banjo player in that band, and David Grisman is the mando player, and gosh, they had a couple other guys from other groups, and they
super group.
Yeah, and they put this band together, and I love bluegrass. That's one of the genres of music that I really like.
Great.
And I love that name.
It's brilliant.
And I thought I can't use it until I get to be a certain age.
Yes, I'd heard that band. I just wasn't entirely sure if that was the reason.
Yep, that's where it came from.
Were you a Grateful Dead fan then?
Not really. I like some of their stuff. I mean, I like the concept of the way they carry on.
The
music, not so much.
Have you ever heard of? I'm sure you know of Loudon Wainwright III.
Oh yes. Yep, I like his music. He's married to
Martha.
Yes.
But I mention him because he has a song about taking LSD.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the lines in it is something about the Grateful Dead go somewhere to listen to the Grateful Dead while they're tripping balls. One of the chorus is being on acids is easy. Being on acid's a breeze. Just keep the car on the highway and don't laugh and don't fart and don't sneeze. So my rendition is not as good as his, but
there's this. It's I knew a lot of guys that were huge Deadheads, and I don't know that they ever attended a concert where they were sober for any part of it.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
Days afterwards, either.
Yeah, I wonder if any of them remember any of it. But
yeah, well.
On that note, is that where the term Deadhead originates then? Is it from the Grateful Dead? I thought it was just a generic term for a hippie, or a right-wing slander for a hippie.
Yeah. No.
So it really is. It's from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. What are you smoking this evening, Gary?
I have got some Balkan mixture, Goeth and Hogarth Balkan. And I am smoking it in my Cairngorm Blakemar.
That's a beautiful pipe.
It is. It's my latest purchase from Mike, and I understood after I bought it that it was the 2019 pipe for the London Pipe Club. I think it was. There's several guys that have this rendition. But I immediately fell in love with it. And Mike's pipe shapes are pretty traditional, and this one was a little bit more unusual.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of a free-handy Dublin-y thing going on, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Is my lighting okay? It's kind of dark, but
It
it's
looks like it's dark wood anyway, is it? Or is
yeah.
the lighting
Yeah.
bad? Yeah.
No, it's a dark. I think this is the what he calls a French
Okay.
red. Um, uh, and it's just got such a beautiful thick.
Yeah, it looks
Wood.
great.
I love it. It smokes very cool, and yeah, his pipes are unbelievable.
Yeah. No, lovely, lovely piece of kit. Lovely thick walls, nice cool smoke. Yeah, that's
Yep.
great.
I'm
Beautiful
afraid if
looking.
I lived in England, I would probably go broke inside of a year because I'd be hanging out at his shop, uh, buying shit every weekend.
Yeah. Have you come across Blakemar Briars?
Yeah,
Yeah. Are they the same outfit? Are they? Is
yeah,
he?
Blake Mark Briers.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Forgive me. I
yeah,
thought the guy was called. There's only one guy. Is it Mike? I thought he was called
yeah,
Paul.
Mike Billington. Yeah,
Beg your pardon. So there you
yeah,
are. Sorry.
yeah.
It always amazes me the prices, the pricing point as
I
well.
know it. I know it. His
Yeah.
his Aristocrat series. Gosh, I mean, even shipping this all the way to Chicago was under $50,
Right.
including the postage.
That's
And
mad.
yeah, it was amazing. I didn't know what to expect when I saw the price. I thought, well, I'll take a chance.
Mhm,
But guys like Dale Piper and
mhm.
Swing Kid 100 were
Yep.
both
Yep.
really high on his pipes
Yeah.
and had nothing but good things to say.
Yeah.
So I'll try it, and I just was absolutely amazed.
Yeah.
The quality.
I was admiring James Swing Kids the other night. It's like a bit of a bit of a calabash, is it? If I remember correctly, like a black, but the rustication
Yeah,
you can tell it's from Blakemar. That chunky,
yeah.
nice. You know, it's
He does that all by hand with a tool.
really
It's
right.
not sandblasted. It's all
Yeah.
he has a vertical tool set up, and he just holds the stummel and just draws
Chips
it all
away.
out. Yeah, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Amazing.
I have my eye on it's called I think there's a few under the name Moffat, Moffatt.
Mhm.
But one in particular is absolute bargain. You know, I feel bad giving him the asking price. But
Give
it's
him an extra 20.
yeah, I mean there would be no shame in that. And
Yeah.
it's kind of cut away, so it's a cutty kind of facing away a bit, and
Mhm.
it has that lovely sandblast, but the top half is what do you call it? Smooth. So it's a bit of
Smooth.
bulldog mixed with a devil ants cuddy. It's very
Yeah.
strange, lovely
Yeah.
pipe.
Yeah. I looked that one up, and that I could see myself buying one of those as well. It's a cool looking pipe.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I do like the fact that mostly he keeps the plateau
yeah, yeah,
smooth,
yeah,
and I think it looks really nice with the rusticated bowl.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So yes, that's great. Um, let's see. Gotta ask you this silly questions first. Then, do you have any particular pipes that are your favorites? Any favorite shapes, or what do you usually go for? Or
Well, I just recently in the last year or so, I have just come to fall in love with the Prince of Wales pipe.
okay,
And before that, all of the blends that or all of the pipes that I had were bigger pipes, and I do like the stout walls and a bigger bowl, but there are times when I just don't want to sit down for. I don't have 2 hours to
yeah,
have a nice long smoke,
mhm,
and I don't remember where I ran across it might have been Smoking Pipe sent something out on the Prince of Wales
okay,
and the history, and and I thought, wow, that's interesting, and so I purchased one, a inexpensive ROP made in France,
all right,
and it's a 45-minute smoke, and it's
perfect.
really nice. And because of the geometry of the bowl, it's sort of a squished apple,
Hmm.
and it has a very slightly bent stem and shank. Um, it's just it's 25 grams,
That's
so it's
very
a good,
light.
good clencher.
Yeah,
It's for if you're out for a ramble,
yeah,
uh, it's a nice pipe to have with you.
yeah.
So I've really come to like those only because they're so light and they're so handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
28
like.
grams. That's very light indeed.
Mm,
What
it
were you
is.
going to say? Sorry, you like?
Well, I was going to say, because I'm in the presence of all my pipes, and I wanted to make an announcement that I love all of you. I don't want any of the pipes ganging up on my Prince of Wales and beating the crap out of it. So
Yeah, yeah. It happens, folks. When the lights go out, it's like
when the lights go
Fantasia.
out,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Trouble, trouble. That's good. And then your favorite blends. Then, if you had to give me a top three right now, I'm sorry to put pressure on you, but that's part of it.
Yeah. Again, I have been smoking for a number of years, and I would have to say that within the last year, I've probably branched out and tried more blends than I ever have. It's interesting because I liked what I was smoking and I was happy with it, but I fell into the YouTube and I started seeing all these other blends, and I'm like, oh, well, why am I just smoking? I love Latakia. I guess that's my very favorite.
Okay.
For vapors, I don't smoke a filtered pipe.
Okay.
None of my pipes are filtered, and thank God I've never had a problem with tongue bite. I'm extremely lucky, I guess.
Well, I think it's more you smoke your pipe properly.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Is there any correlation between that and liking hot, spicy food? I
Yeah.
love Indian food. I love real spicy Chinese food, and when other people are crying, it bother me. Maybe I have leather for
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 tongue.
a tongue.
Have you ever had a fowl, the Indian dish? PHAAL,
Oh yeah,
fowl.
yes,
Oof.
yeah, yep.
Jesus
I
Christ.
I had the opportunity to travel to visit India four times.
So you had a real one? 4 times you're in India? All right.
Yeah, on business. I had to go over there we had a supplier, and we needed to audit them, and so I ended up going, and
How come you're auditing your supplier?
oh, because he's sending us materials that are being used in an assembly that are extremely important, and they're
Right.
supposed to be following certain guidelines, and so
Otherwise you get in trouble then? Yeah.
we could be, yeah, right, because if it fails, it goes from us to our end customer.
Mhm.
And so we are regulating and auditing them to make sure they're doing what they say they're doing.
Okay,
And when
okay.
they're that far away from us, they can say whatever they want.
Yeah,
But
true. So what part of India or whereabouts?
Bangalore,
Bangalore.
yes, the tech capital of India. And I
And
must say, it was an experience. It was for a Westerner, for a white bread dude. I've always been fascinated by the Indian culture, and to go there and actually uh, be in amongst that, it was absolutely amazing. And I will say I probably didn't have a very good reaction at first because it was such a jarring uh, environment.
Mhm.
But I quickly got to the point where I really enjoyed my stay there. People are so nice, very friendly, but exotic. The smells, the temperature, just everything
Yeah,
was different than what I knew,
yeah.
and so it was shocking. And
And
one of the guys in my group is from India, and he could kind of tell that I was having I was having some difficulty adjusting,
Mhm.
and he said, no, don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. And he was right. And so I went back 3 more times, and just enjoyed myself every time I was there when I wasn't working.
And did you all 4 times was business,
Mhm.
but you had a few days to
I didn't get
explore and
nearly as much as I wanted to. I would have liked to have. I mean, you can go a day early and maybe stay a day late. I'm there for a week.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's go on a weekend, come home on a weekend. But not nearly enough. I would have loved to have taken a month.
Yeah. Are they in Bangalore majority? Ah, why is the name of the religion gone now? They're not Shiite Muslim. They're
Hindu?
Hindu. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. Um, so they have all sorts of colorful festivities going on, and
Yes.
hundreds of gods to worship, and it's all very, yeah, like you say, the sounds, the smells, absolutely everything is a barrage on your,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Western senses, you know.
Yes. Cows roaming the streets and monkeys running across the telephone wires. Uh, it's just absolutely amazing to me, and
And
it was just a initial shock of being dropped into a place that was so different from what I knew.
yeah,
And but travel is the best thing that anyone can do because you find out that there are wonderful people and different cultures that are really interesting and great to learn about. And when
absolutely.
you stay stuck in your own place,
Yeah,
you don't, right?
I know. There's some people don't leave. I know plenty of Irish that have never left Ireland, and there's some people from the States. There's no reason to leave the States almost if you're
Yeah,
comfortable with where you are.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's a big country, but no, I that was one of the fortunate things that I got to do. I never would have guessed. I never would have done it on my own. I mean, it was almost too scary
mm.
or different, but it really opened my eyes
Their
to.
their traffic systems are fairly manic.
Oh,
They actually, I know I was watching a television program that was about taking the driving license, getting your license in India,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're actually required to use your horn so
Oh yeah,
much for
it,
so many reasons.
it's
It's just
constant. It's constant.
mad.
I never. Everything was at least an hour drive.
Hmm.
Where- No matter where you went, and I have never seen Chicago has a pretty good traffic jam, in the morning and in the evening to and from work. I'd never seen anything like that in India. And there were times where it took us 2 hours to get from, I don't know what the distance was. I have no idea whether it was 10 miles or whether it was 150 miles, but it
Yeah,
took, it took 2 hours
yeah.
to get to and from. And the drivers were these skilled guys. I swear, you're driving down the street and he pulls out into oncoming traffic to pass a slower guy,
Mhm.
and there is a truck coming at you at 50 miles an hour, and there were four of us in the car with our driver, and we're all like, we're not going to.
This is it.
This
This
is
is it.
it. Where's the eject button?
Yeah.
I swear there was cigarette paper space between us and the guy going. We got back into traffic,
Jeez.
and this didn't just happen once. This
Yeah.
happened constantly,
Yeah.
every day for a week. It's like, oh my god, they know what they're doing. We
Yeah.
never got hit.
That's mad. Taxi drivers over there, like fighter pilots over here. That's mad. um,
Absolutely amazing.
Pretty hard to smoke over there, I think, if from what
Mm.
I gather.
Yeah, I just didn't. I had to. I had to shave. I had to shave. I had no smoking. I mean, it was just a pain. It would have been a pain in the butt
Yeah.
to
Did you keep the mustache, or did you just shave the whole thing?
shaved everything off. Yeah, the thing is, when no, I didn't shave the entire time I was there because you have to use bottled water
Right.
to shave. And a couple of the guys in our group broke out with pretty bad rashes because they did not follow directions
Okay.
and they tap water. But
Oh, right.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I didn't want to bother. In fact, the first time when I came in 2015, my wife and I came to Ireland for a holiday, and
What
I
part?
just we flew into Dublin.
Uh-huh.
Then we went south to Cork
Lovely.
and did the western coastline up
Lovely.
to Galway, and then back to. We did vagabond tours.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
the first time I'd ever done that. We
Right.
were not, usually when we travel, it's just the two of us, and we just kind of take our chances. But I didn't want to drive. I was
Yeah.
I,
Too much good
I was a
Guinness.
little afraid to drive. So vagabond tour was there were 5 couples, so it was one of these small 4-wheel drive buses,
Right.
Mercedes, and we were all over the place. We were off the beaten path, so we didn't run into the great big, bus tours. We
That's
did a
good.
lot of hiking and bicycling, and yeah, it was great.
Did you stop off at enough public houses?
What's that?
Did you stop off at many little off the beaten track public houses?
Oh my God.
I'm sure you met some characters.
Yeah, well, I'm a home brewer. I make my own beer, and I love Irish beer, English beer, Belgian, and so yes, every lunchtime we stopped at a small fishing village, for lunch, and a little pub, and they were always delightful. Our guide he knew all the great spots to stop, and so yeah, lots of great music, um, great pubs, wonderful. There's only four types of beer in Ireland, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. In the
No,
bar.
we actually
It's improved in the past 20 years or 10 years.
Well, in America, we always hear that the food in Ireland and England, in the UK is not all that great. And nothing could be further from the truth. We just had we did not have one bad meal. The breakfasts were fantastic. Everything was great. Talk about nice people.
That's good. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
got the good side of it. Yeah. But generally, we're pretty good with tourists. I used to work in the bar trade, and some of the bars in Belfast I worked in were, 400-year-old establishments. So there would be, the Japanese and the Americans coming in every day.
Yeah.
So you always told it. There's always good crack meeting them all, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard that term plenty. Maybe
Yes.
you thought somebody was trying to sell you some methamphetamine whenever you first started, maybe.
No,
Thanks.
my wife is half Irish.
There you go, then. There you go.
McDevitt from Donegal, I guess.
Nice.
And
Donegal.
so, yeah, and so when we go back, which we will, we're going to visit the north. So
Let me know when you do.
I'll call you when we're in the neighborhood, and we'll meet up for a.
Yep, absolutely. That'd be great. Yeah. Try and involve some others. You'll meet my wife, my beautiful wife. Right. So you're from, is it the Midwest area?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's when I was 6, my family moved, but I found them again. No, that's a different story.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to elaborate on that. You're not getting away with that.
Nah,
Was it a joke?
I was actually born on an Air Force base in New Mexico. My
Right.
father was in the Air Force, and so I spent my first 2 years in Roswell, New Mexico, where all the alien spaceships are.
Nevada, yes, I know it well. I was obsessed with Area 51 and Roswell and yeah.
Well, I was born there in '55, so there is some chance that
It could be.
There are people who would sign on to that I am an alien, but I grew up in a town called Rockford, which is 90 miles west and a little north of Chicago. And it was a huge huge Swedish community, and
Okay.
so they said that's where the train stopped and everybody got off.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been a Midwesterner my whole life. I moved into Chicago. Actually, I've lived in Chicago longer than I lived in Rockford.
Okay.
So
Getting past that halfway point then.
Yeah. Great Lakes. Yeah, it's big. The Midwest is the flyover part of the country. All the, the New Yorkers and the California and all that. But there's a lot to be said for Midwest values and hospitality. And Chicago is a beautiful city. It has its problems like any big city, but
Yeah.
you can't really get bored.
Yeah. Okay. Get
So,
cold out there in the winters, doesn't it?
mm.
Yeah.
Yes, we just well, everybody's been getting blasted here lately, but today it's 18 degrees, so
Okay.
minus 8. Um, Typically, that's the Midwest. That is because we're in the Mississippi Valley, and it's the breadbasket of the country. Um, the humidity in this area can be intense, and
Okay.
it's because of all the cornfields and the
Yeah.
crop. Yeah.
Right.
So a typical summer, 95 with 90% humidity,
Mhm.
pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And in
pretty
the
uncomfortable.
winter, 0, 20, 10 below, 20 below. Yeah. So it's pretty harsh.
Yeah, it's one extreme to the other. Yeah, very
Yeah.
harsh.
Yeah, it's not for the weak, that's for sure.
No. Let's see. I wanted to ask you about your hobbies. I heard in one of your videos you recently mentioned that you're teaching yourself the was it the mandolin?
Yeah.
How's that going?
I'm pretty rubbish, but I enjoy. I actually have a couple of guitars. I have a banjo. I have a ukulele and 2 mandolins.
There you go.
So that's just part of my. I just love noodling. I love teaching myself. I there's I wouldn't impose that on anybody. Um, like I said, I can clear the house out by telling everyone I'm going. It's practice time.
Just opening the case clears the house.
They, y'all got something else to do. But I love music, and it's like teaching yourself a language. People who can read music and actually transpose it to an instrument, that's really a gift, and it does not come easy to me. But I do it to amuse myself
Yeah,
and keep the little gray cells busy and active.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely. So are you you're learning the formal route then? You want to learn to read
Mhm.
music properly? Yeah, that's the right way to do it. Yeah.
I actually, when I was a kid, I took guitar lessons, and you know, I got fairly good at it, and I that was the thing. Us guys used to take our girlfriends out to the forest preserves with our instruments and serenade them. That was how you won over the chicks.
Yeah, still is, I think.
Yeah, the sensitive one, but I know enough, and I learned to read music with my guitar, so I'm just transferring it now. It's just different techniques, fingering, and 6 strings with a guitar, and 4 double strings with a mandolin, and 5 strings with a banjo. So just stringed instruments and acoustic music,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Harder on the fingers, the wee double string,
Hmm.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I messed about with a mandolin one evening, just with no experience other than that. I play the acoustic guitar,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's a lot. It's quite a shock when you start to
Yeah.
try and play it.
You get these little callus pads on the tips of your fingers,
Yeah.
and when you lay off for a while, they start to go away, and you have to start all over again. So
Yeah. Or if you bite at them, yeah.
yeah, so it's best to stick with it.
Yeah. I know some people cheat with super glue, but I don't
Hmm.
imagine
Never-
that would be comfortable either.
Yeah.
Best
Nah,
to have your own hard-earned calluses.
there you go.
Stupid question then. Just the fact that I love your beard, and I'm a male who doesn't. I can grow a goatee, but there's
Mhm.
nothing here, and it's very patchy. And I've always wanted to grow a big beard, and yours is lovely. I just thought I'd say that.
Thank you.
Have you had it long? When's the last time you saw your face?
It's probably been the last time I was in India. So
Right.
Uh,
2016, did you say?
let's see. Yeah, yeah, it was because I went there right after my trip to Ireland. I had to go to India, and yeah, so that was the last time. But I always wanted a beard, and for the longest time, I had giant holes that
Patchy?
would fill in, and eventually I got there. But the thing is, you have to be patient and just
Yeah,
leave it, let it go.
right. There's all sorts of remedies you can get these days that little rollers with spikes and certain
Yeah,
snake oil you can buy, and £100 a bottle or whatever,
yeah,
and
yeah.
shitloads of testimonials. It definitely works. Definitely.
Definitely works. Yeah.
uh, no, that's
Well,
good.
I hate to shave. I'm lazy. I don't. I like the look of the beard, fortunately, and I do hate to shave. That was the thing in the workaday world, because I had to meet with a lot of clients,
Right.
and so always had to have wear my hair a certain way, and it just and fortunately, my wife does not really care.
That's good. Yeah.
She likes the beard.
Yeah.
She doesn't like just a mustache, though.
Right. So it's full beard or nothing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. My wife's the same with you either grow a full beard or you don't. Therefore, I can't because I can't grow a full beard. If you trim your beard in any way, she's Dutch, you see, and
Mhm.
where in her part of Holland, there's a very rude word they call men who shave their into goatees, for example.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they call them talking vaginas, but not vagina,
Yeah.
the C word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Uh, I could.
it's just not cool apparently.
Cool. You don't want to do that.
No, don't want to be that. No, but yeah, maybe one day I'll just take some testosterone or something. I'll get steroids injected into me, and one day. Let's see. Let me see. Right. Am I right in saying that you retired earlier this year, or was it?
Right. I'm working 3 days a week.
So
Uh,
you've broken down a bit. You're
yeah.
part time.
Yeah. I was a typical work week for me was 50, 55 hours. It's manufacturing.
That's because
It's
you were the
family. Yeah.
director, or you're the owner director, were you?
I'm a part owner, and I was VP of the quality department.
Right.
And
So you were imposing that upon yourself. So
uh, no, actually, it's an interesting story, and you'll get to that point in your life, possibly. For me, it was a chosen field, and when it came time, around about 58 or 60 years old, you have to start thinking about transition and letting the young guys take over. And what was difficult for me was I spent my whole career getting to that point, and then it just felt like, wow, it took a long time to get here, and now I have to give it up. And so I struggled with that a little bit, and I got over it. And I realized that really what you need to do is start training the next group of guys.
yeah,
You have to help them to
hand
get
off. Yeah,
the handoff, because you're not going to be there forever.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not fair but see, our business started from scratch. There were six of us that started the business in 1978. And so we each wore multiple hats and took on all kinds of whatever came along. One of us would step forward and say, I'll take care of that.
Okay.
And so I really didn't have a mentor. It was really learn on the fly, learn as you go, and lots of classes and some camaraderie with other fellows in the field.
Mhm.
But I didn't really have a mentor, so to speak. So for me, I didn't have a history to draw from. How do I train? How do I hand off? what I'm doing to other guys. So I've learned a lot, and I've learned to let go. And the guys that are coming up are doing a great job. So
Good.
I think by mid-year I'm going to be completely gone, completely
Okay.
out. Yeah.
Good. So you were dipping your toes in the water, I suppose, 3 days a week, see what it feels like, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
leave it open, I guess, in
Yeah.
case you want to do 1 day every fortnight or something.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
would do if
And
I were you.
I can consult
Yep. Yep.
either at my company, or I can audit.
Mhm.
Uh, they're always looking for auditors. So if I got bored, which I don't think is going to happen, but if I did, I think I'd have plenty of outlets to use my expertise,
Yeah.
to help other companies and to keep my toe in.
Yeah.
But
Well, what I was going to ask then, I can only imagine a great proportion of viewers will side with me on the fact that couldn't believe that you're retired. If you didn't have a grey beard, I wouldn't have thought you were in your. You look amazing. Is what I'm trying to say. What's
very
your
much.
secret? Oil of Olay, or we have a face cream called Oil of Olay over here. I don't know if you have it.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, I'm fortunate in that I think genes has something to do with it. My mother is 86. My dad is 89. Uh, my dad he has hearing and vision issues, and he uses a walker
Hmm.
to get around, but his mind is really sharp.
Good.
He's amazing.
That's good.
Uh,
Yeah.
my mom is active. I can't keep up with my mom. She's a physical freak fanatic. She's on the treadmill and working out, and
Right. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So so it's that. I think it's genetics. Uh, I do exercise. I like to walk. That's my that's what I like to do. Just stay active. I don't like sitting around, so I like to move around, and I do a lot of gardening in the summer, and traipsing out in the snow.
Yeah.
So, and my wife would say that it's because of her that I look
Yeah.
young.
Keeping you in good nick.
Yeah, and she takes good care of me. So
Does she hand you a green drink of some sort every morning? Go here, shut up and drink this.
shut up and drink.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you have a happy life, or you're content, that helps.
It shows. It
You have a good
certainly shows.
partner. Yeah, when you have a good partner, that definitely takes some of the strain off. And I'm fortunate in that regard.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. A happy wife is a happy life.
That's true.
And the other phrase for the day, then, I suppose, would be a rolling stone gathers no moss with regard to your active activities.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Perfect answer. I know that you're a man who is fond of a great British institution here, the Falcon Pipe.
Hmm.
You're in love with. Is there one particular shape you like? The 1936. Was it the slightly bent one, or do you prefer the straights or shillelaghs, or what do you like?
Actually, I do like the slightly bent. I have the two styles of stems that I have, are the slightly bent and the straight.
Hmm.
And what I have my eye on is a meerschaum lined bowl. Um, I recently saw Cobbett of the Shire when he did his 3-pipe solution video. He One of his honorable mentions was a falcon,
Yeah.
and he had a meerschaum bowl.
Yep. Let me.
You've seen that?
Yeah. Let me quickly, because I was looking at this. It's on eBay. Let me see if it's still there. I think it is. Recently viewed items. There it is. Restored Falcon FDF XI11 Meerschaum. So that's available for 50 British pounds. and apparently
Mm.
it's block meerschaum. You can't.
Hmm.
And the seller on eBay, I've bought a few pipes from him before, and they're absolutely brilliant, dandy. But it's very lightly used.
Hmm. Mm.
It's maybe had less than 10 smokes. I would say certainly less than 5.
Yeah. Are you
If
going to
you're
go for it?
well, I
Are you,
mean, if you want me to get it and fired your way, it would, or I don't know what the postage would be to wherever you are.
I think
Um,
um, when Mike Billington sends stuff, it's Royal Mail and USPS, and it's like under $10.
really,
So
yeah, yeah. I'll send you a link if you're interested.
yeah,
But yes,
sure.
I might do it. I shamefully don't have a Falcon yet. Um,
Mm.
I know, I know. I try and smoke filtered pipes mostly. You see, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Um, but I really have. I'm definitely going to get one. And I've been watching. Do you know Glenn Drop Bear, the Australian fellow?
Uh, yes, yes.
Yes,
And he does bowls for Falcons,
he
right?
does. He does. Yeah, and they're beautiful looking things. And he's obsessed with falcons. And
Yeah,
his
they are
memorabilia knows a lot about them.
they are lovely pipes. And I first, as I mentioned in a posting I did earlier, my grandfather and all my uncles all had Falcons. It was funny when you went to my grandparents' house on a Sunday afternoon and you look at the massive ashtray that they had. There were 5 Falcons in there.
Right, right.
And everybody knew they all made sure that they had their own bowls, so they knew which Falcon was theirs.
Have they been readily available in the States for many years then?
Yes, because they were actually it is an American pipe.
Was it?
Yes.
I thought it was English.
No, no. The inventor was a guy named Kenley Bugg, Bugg, and he was from Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is just the next state. Midwestern guy.
Right.
He was a pipe smoker and an engineer, and he designed the pipe. And they were made in Fort Wayne for a number of years, and then a firm in Chicago uh, who had taken over distributors' rights
Hmm.
also started to manufacture them here.
Hmm. Hmm.
And they moved to. They had an agreement with a fella in England in 1961, I believe.
Hmm.
So they actually started manufacturing them in England. And the last Falcon pipe was manufactured in Chicago in 1968.
Okay.
So the production, all of it was solely in England
Yeah.
after that. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Why have I never? I don't know why I didn't know that, but I'm glad that I do now. Um, yes, they're beautiful things, and the way I love the bend and the
mhm.
way it's the other way. You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's so unusual. The shillelaghs are very pretty too,
They are, and
and
they so many different colors and styles. What I really like though is that if you go traveling, you can break them down.
mhm,
You don't have to worry about having anything get cracked or messed up. And
yeah,
if you're out for the day, you take an extra bowl with you.
yeah, perfect.
So
Yeah,
there's
and if
super
it's
easy to
meerschaum
clean.
lined or a meerschaum one, then all the better as well.
Yeah.
Um, do you make your own little filter rings with pipe cleaners? Yeah, yeah.
No. Because I used to buy those
Think,
dry rings.
really? Think you were the only person?
Really?
Think so? I think so. But they're exactly the same as it's a bit
Yeah,
of pipe cleaner, isn't it?
that's it. That's
Yeah,
all it is. You make your own.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are Denny Cool crystals, or I'm sure there's other brands. You know the silicate crystals you can get. I might experiment with those as well, once I get one.
Hmm.
But they're
Hmm.
still very reasonable. But
They are. And you may find that you don't need a filter.
yeah, yeah, true.
I mean,
The sorry, go on.
well, I was just gonna say I can't speak from experience because I've never smoked a filtered pipe,
Mhm.
but I've heard fellas on YouTube say that you do lose a little bit of flavor, don't you?
Yeah. See, I started off non-filter, and then I don't know what it was. Uh, I don't know what it was. I used to be a lot more of a hot smoker as well. I would smoke a lot. It took me, I've only been smoking a pipe. The first pipe I bought was about 8 years ago. But I've
Mhm.
only been smoking, regularly for about 2.5 years.
Mhm.
And I was smoking quite fast and hot, and only really learned the breathe method. And that's not, I do a version of the breathe method most of the time, I think. But I just find that, so I still smoke unfiltered pipes, but I find that certain blends have harsh edges that are taken off. And
Yeah,
also I smoke a lot of Lakelands, and some of them can get wet, and
yeah,
the filter eradicates that as well.
yeah,
But
yeah.
each to their own.
Sure, absolutely. And the Falcon will help with the wetter
Yeah.
tobaccos
Yep.
as well. Yeah, it's amazing when you open that humidome, when you pull the bowl off and look at that and
Yeah.
see what's there. It's okay. I'm
Yeah.
glad I have a filter there.
That's grand. I really like the look of the bent Falcons then with the chimney
Yeah,
being a big. It just looks so
it
cool.
does. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, you can build your own
Mhm.
whatever style you want to use that day, and that's pretty cool.
It
Yeah.
is. Let's see. I've heard you mention that up to so first of all, what age did you start smoking? But
That yeah. So I was between. Oh, see, my grandfather was a pipe and cigar smoker,
Mhm.
and he was a inspirational guy for me. I felt very close to him, and he was that's where I first developed my interest in pipes, because I liked the smell of my grandfather's pipe, and so I guess I was probably about 17 or 18,
Mhm.
and corncob pipe.
That's what I was
Uh,
gonna say. You say you smoked them until you were 20 or so, or
yeah, yeah, and because they were cheap and I wasn't sure, and yeah, times were different back then. Uh, my grandmother loved the smell of pipe tobacco. My grandparents bought me a pipe when I was uh, 21.
that's great.
So it's like that really wouldn't fly today.
Yeah. Do you still have it? Yeah.
I do,
Good. Yeah.
and in fact, I gifted it to my son, because he likes to smoke pipes as well. Not nearly as often as I do, but he does, and thought that was a nice thing to hand down to him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Great.
it was a different time,
Mhm.
and it was traditional. There's a lot of Scandinavians that smoking a pipe was just a natural thing to do,
Yep.
and they didn't worry so much about or think about the health issues. I guess they
At
didn't.
all. No.
Yeah, and so I started at a young age, but I've never been a heavy smoker.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't think for me nowadays, maybe 3 or 4 times a week,
Right. Yeah.
not an everyday, 10 bowls or any of that. It's really a pastime. It's something that I look forward to, but I'm not a slave to it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel fortunate, that I don't have that, that addictive nature. Uh, so I can go 2 weeks, 3 weeks without. I don't do that very often, but I can with no problem.
Yeah. It's a completely different relationship, isn't it?
Yes.
Between
Yeah.
cigarettes, and even some cigar smokers I know would have to have a
Yeah.
cigar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the day that the government makes the distinction and
Right.
says a big public apology to all
Yeah.
those pipe smokers.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
day now, any day.
It can't come soon enough. I mean, it shouldn't be so difficult, but it's a revenue stream where they're attempting to do that. If they don't kill it all off, with all the restrictions but it's unfortunate that there is no distinction between a pipe smoker and a cigarette smoker, and there really should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And they all know. They all know. They just don't want to acknowledge it.
Right.
But it's just terrible the way it filters down. I mean, there are doctors now that they don't know much about tobacco because they never smoked.
Right.
And of course, why would they? Because
Yeah.
tobacco is a killer. And they really are, you tell them about the benefits of a pipe and they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, my childhood doctor was a pipe smoker.
Right.
He had him in his office.
Yeah.
It was yeah. So I don't know. I think the tobacco police have overstepped their boundaries and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what will happen. Will it create a black market eventually with the tobacco prices keep going up and up and up, and what will happen? But like the likes of Australia and Canada aren't far behind Australia, I don't think. But the penalties are just outstanding on people
Yeah.
trying to order or grow your own or order tobacco in or
Yeah. They're slowly tightening the noose.
yeah.
And yeah, I in the old days I wouldn't think twice about smoking my pipe in public, walking down the street with a pipe, and I almost do it for a grin now because I get so many looks.
Mm.
Like, oh, there's the pariah. How dare he smoke in public?
Yeah. You're killing my children.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So
But it is making a comeback though. I mean, there are a lot of under the age of 30 that are going into pipe stores now. In the UK, I know the figures are getting, it looks good for the future of pipe smoking in the UK. I can't speak for everywhere else, but I think because people are being told what to do as well. And
yeah. Well, I think the public a trend can explode because somebody famous decides to smoke a cigar or smoke. I mean, I think back to Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls basketball player who was just smoking cigars, and it just absolute cigar smoking in the U.S. just went crazy because he started. I don't know if he started it, but he was in that group of people, famous people, celebrities that were. It was a hobby, and pretty soon everybody. There were cigar bars all over the place, and I don't think it's as strong as it was, in the '90s, but it launched a whole bunch of cigar devotees because of, and possibly it could happen. Did you happen to see that movie on Netflix called The Dig with Ralph Fiennes?
Yes, about about the warship that was a burial ship. Sorry, yes, yep. Yes,
And
very romantically portrayed of a pipe smoker, yeah.
Yeah, and so just seeing that was on the screen was interesting to me. That wasn't something that he kept in his pocket, or sort of a prop. During the course of the movie, he was smoking his pipe fairly frequently.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
And it's not something that you're used to seeing. They've taken, you look at old movies from the 50s and everybody was lighting up, but everybody was, it was a huge part of the storyline was all the cigarette smoking that was going on.
Yeah.
And it's been completely removed or damn near removed. And so seeing that was sort of interesting to me. That
Yeah. Yep. I watched it with the wife, and she said she looked over at me a couple of times, and I was a big shit-eating grin on my face, as they would say. It was like porn.
yeah.
It was great, but yeah, really good to see that portrayed in a decent light. And, yeah.
And I
Staying.
think he was smoking a Peterson, I believe.
Yes, I am. Yeah, this is the Derry Rustic range, number 6 billiard.
I love that pipe. That is really.
It's a very nice coffee swirl, I call it.
Yeah.
Don't know what the acrylics. Yeah, I have a few Petersons. I have a red Killarney billiard and a couple actually of the Peterson standard system, number 314 and a 307, which is just the Paul shape, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
they invented that system, I guess. KP and Peterson, or KNP Peterson. I think Savinelli used it now, or used it after them, after the trademark wore off, I think.
Yeah.
Just a little moisture bucket before
Mhm.
the main shank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you favor Savinellis or Petersons or any brand?
I have a couple Savinellis, and I do like them. I actually got my first Peterson pipe last year. My wife got me a Bulldog for Father's Day.
Mm.
The with a nice silver band. It's a very handsome pipe, and it's a great smoker. I do regret when I was in Ireland, I did not stop in any pipe stores, and I did not purchase a Peterson pipe while I was there.
Ah,
And uh,
I can
you know,
always send you one if you have your eye on one and you wanted to get it from Ireland.
well, what I'm going to do is when I come over,
Yep, yep,
it'll be a different story. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and for down south now as well, they're tightening on. There's a lot of the tobacconists have gone under. We've got a very nice one in Belfast, Miss Moran's. I don't know if you saw the video.
Yeah.
I made. Good, yeah, they've been
That was,
there.
that was a great posting. Yeah.
Yeah, he was very easy to speak with. Niall was very easy to speak with. But yeah, going on what he says as well, it's looking okay. And then there's another store in Belfast that just opened up, literally last, I believe, 14 months or so now. It's been open, but it's exclusively a cigar shop. But it's still good things for, yeah. And it's good for the likes of Nile that it doesn't sell pipes as well, because I think it's a chain. I think it's
Right.
Cigar World or something,
Yeah. We do have to support our local tobacconists. In Chicago, we have Iwan Reeves,
Mhm.
and they've been in business since 1857,
That's great.
and fantastic. It's like going into a club, with the paneled walls and the leather, and uh, and I'm always encouraged when I see a bunch of younger guys working there
Mhm. Yeah,
and know their stuff.
that's cool. Yeah, very encouraging.
Yeah.
Would that be the closest brick and mortar to you then?
We have like you, we have a couple of cigar stores
Mhm.
that also sell pipe tobacco, and but their main thing is, I think they're leftover from the cigar buzz,
Yeah.
from the 90s, and um, but we used to have a national chain called the Tinderbox,
Yeah,
and
I'm
they still,
familiar with the name. Yeah.
yeah, and they're still in business. But a lot of them, they opened up in a lot of the malls,
Mhm.
and they've just been disappearing. So um, yeah, it's not a business that you would have your children go into.
Yeah, yeah. Tinderbox, what a great, I always thought that was a great name. But
Yeah.
the before the invention of matches,
Hmm.
smoking gentleman would have had to lug this godforsaken tinderbox around with him everywhere he went, and
Right. Yeah.
such a
That's
laborious, you
hmm
know, so
rubbing
much,
two stones together, a
yeah,
flint.
such element of luck involved, is to
Yeah.
get a good fire going.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Let's
Yeah.
see. Yes. So I just generally then I wanted to say I really enjoy your channel because of your generally positive attitude, and I overheard you mention obviously uh, during COVID-19 and what's going on in the world with us everywhere. You value the YTPC as much as I do, and a lot of other people. I'm just preaching to the choir here. I'm sure as the audience is involved, but I think it's important to touch on how invaluable the YTPC has been, and I know that you've expressed that as well
Good.
during COVID and everything. Um, there will be. I'm planning on having hopefully a few more Zoom calls, and maybe try and have them late at weekends. So I'll keep you involved. I'll keep you posted with that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's really been lovely. To be a unicorn smoker for so many years. When I started out smoking, I had friends. Uh, we were kind of the geeks of our class
Mhm.
because we were smoking pipes with tobacco in them,
Yeah.
you know, and we loved books, so we were talking, Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, and that was kind of the little club that I had um, out of high school and into college, and everybody dispersed, to different parts of the country, and I really, really sort of became the unicorn smoker. And so the YouTube community has just been a godsend, because like, wow, I thought I was some freak living under a rock somewhere. I was still smoking my pipe and enjoying it, and just happening upon the community was just an eye opener, and it's been fantastic. It took a while for me to post anything, because I think like a lot of pipe smokers are introverts or more. You're not. You're outgoing
Come
and
across that way.
yeah. Uh, well, but you're probably a thinker and a ruminator. I mean, to enjoy a pipe, it's pretty tough to not have some sort of part of you that doesn't want uh, to be a thinker, or to contemplate, and the pipe is an outlet for that, and so finding a bunch of other people, and wonderful people, it turns out. I mean, I could have joined the community and found out that they're all a bunch of jerks. You know,
It
there's a,
could have
there's a,
been.
there's a lot of stuff, a lot of trolls, a lot of just nasty people,
Mhm.
unfortunately, and that's why I don't do Facebook or any of that stuff.
Mhm.
But it was just an added wonderful bonus to come across just the nicest guys that I think I've ever met. I mean, just the fact that you and I are talking, how would I have ever met you? And gotten to know you, and all the other folks that I've met and started conversations with, and really feel like, yeah, these are people that I really like.
Yeah. Yep.
So
No, that was. I mean, obviously, I was a lurker. A lot of people don't like that term, but
I don't like that term. I was a
uh,
commentator.
I was lurking for a while, but my main aim was always to get the Zooms going. I thought it would.
Yeah.
This is the best thing for it. And like you say, it is just astounding how nice everyone is.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah. No,
I couldn't name a bad YTPC member. I
yeah.
mean, if I had to.
I'm sure you could. We all could.
Yep. No, it's great crack, and it's always great to have something it's always there in the background, even if you're not using it at the moment, or
Mhm.
using it's the wrong way to, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just nice to know you have that support there as well. Somebody to listen to you.
yeah. And I will say that I have not jumped onto very many Zooms or any Zooms. I watched Pith Helmet. I watch your stuff. And I'll come back and Eddie Gray does something on Wednesday nights, and I haven't really done that. And it's something that I kind of need to. It's like everything else that I do. I have to sort of will myself to jump in. And
If you're
once
going
I
to do it.
yeah,
Definitely. If you're thinking about you might enjoy it, you should.
yeah, yeah.
I can. I mean, there's no. You just do it. There's no secret to it. Sit down for half an hour and think of what questions you're going to ask, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I think what I don't know that I would host anything myself, but I would definitely I'd like to get more join in with some of the great ones that are out there. I think that's how you really get to know somebody. It's you can kind of figure out how people are just by texting back and forth, but until you face to face and spend some time, that's why I'm really looking forward to the pipe clubs getting back up and running, and some of the shows. Chicago has the Chicago Pipe Club is massive.
Phenomenally, yeah, well renowned as well. Even
Yeah, and
over
I've
here, we knew of it.
I've never actually been to one of
No,
their big. No.
yeah. Me neither. Never. It's a. I'm going to start. Me and a friend, Chris, a big Viking fella. Did you ever see the video? I
Yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A fellow
So
Viking.
yeah, he's a fellow Viking. He's Are you a big tall man as well? And what height are you? Just
6'1", so I'm
Jesus,
not.
that's tall. Well, it's tall for me anyway. I'm 5'11", I think. Chris would be about 6'2", 6'3", I think. But yes, the pipe clubs, I think, were legion in Ireland at one point. I can't find one in the
Mhm.
north anyway. I just can't find one. I
Mm.
think since the smoking ban, they just
Yeah.
yeah. There are still hotels, I think, where you can book a room and maybe have a meet. So me and Chris are definitely going to start one.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You can be an honorary member, Gary. That's no problem. And
I will.
whenever you come over, you can see how it's all going.
Well,
Um,
I have a list of people that I would just love to visit, uh, and yeah, I've thought about how wonderful it would be to actually. I'm going to be able to travel when this blows over. I'll have the free time, and so I want to do that. And I just want to say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood.
mhm.
Let's get together. You don't have to put me up.
Well,
just
I mean, I was going to
meet,
say, I have
just
a
meet.
room with an ensuite. If it's just you and your wife, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely. Um, let's see. Let's see. Positive message. Yeah. Yes. Also, that video you sent me in an email about the lady down in Limerick, was it?
Limerick, yeah. Mhm.
Limerick. Yep. Yep. That was very interesting.
Yeah, I happened upon that. There's a couple. Matt the Irish Piper posted one of the Irish pubs that
Mhm.
I had seen, and I just love that. And see, you guys have that culture in Ireland and Britain of the pub,
Mhm.
and I just absolutely love that culture and that outlet that you guys have. We don't in the United States. The bars here are more pickup joints and places to get totally pissed,
Mhm. Okay.
you know, and it's not the community that the pubs in England, and I don't know, that could be changing now as well,
It's
where,
not. It is, but slowly. There's still in almost all the bars you would go into, you will have regulars, and
mhm,
they will be like a good proportion of the the people that are in there every day. You know.
yeah. My one of my best friends, his mother moved to England in the 70s when their marriage broke up, and so he would go to visit her and stay with her for 6 months, and he got a job at a pub in London, and he just loved that culture, and it was totally different because it was like a family, and they knew everybody. You would see somebody walking down the street that same person would come in to the pub every day at 11 o'clock, and you would have their drink ready for them, and they just they it was a community, and now it's there's televisions go blaring, and it's just not it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that in my when I was in Ireland, and I got to go to England with my buddy in the late 80s or 90s, sorry, and so we did a lot of pubs, tons of.
What part of it were you in? London area, or were you?
Yeah, his mother and stepdad lived in London, and so and they had a family friend who was visiting his sister in Scotland.
Mhm.
So we got his apartment for my buddy was over for 6 weeks, and I was over for 10 days. I still owe my wife, as a matter of fact, because she let me go for 10 days. She's such a wonderful. I don't deserve her, but yeah, she let me go to London for 10 days, and every day was just delightful.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder as well, doesn't it?
Yes, I will be paying that back forever.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yes.
You're driving on the next outing
Yeah.
for many outings to come.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, for those of you obviously watchers, listeners, I will link a link to the video that Gary sent me. It's a very interesting look at a tobacconist in Limerick. It actually had me and another YTPC member, who I won't name just in case. But he says he's interested. He lives in the UK too, so maybe he'd come over and see me, and we'll both go down there and do the same, get a wee interview with her. She seemed like one hell of a woman, the lady in I forget her name now, but the owner of the shop.
Yeah.
What a character.
She would be a hoot, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look forward to that. That would be a great posting.
Right. Finally, this is a question I actually asked my wife. What should I ask this person? She says, does it have to do with pipes? I said, no. I says, what is something you've never shared with anyone else, but you'll gladly share with me now?
Oh my God.
I said, there's no way. There's no way.
Wow, that is, wow.
just with me and the rest of the world. All right.
Everyone on YouTube.
Give me something funny or something silly. It doesn't matter.
Gosh, I guess I always wished that I had been a stand-up comedian.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever try it at an open mic or anything?
No, that's another one of the things that I love, comedy. I mean, it's one of the things that just buoys your spirit, and not so much the blue stuff, but just somebody who could a raconteur, somebody who can just tell a great story with a great punchline. When I was growing up, I don't know if you guys in the UK know who Bob Newhart is.
Not that I know. No. Bob, what was the surname?
Newhart.
Newhart, Blueheart? Don't know.
New.
Newhart? No.
Newhart. Yeah, he was a Chicago guy. And he made it very big, and he, if you ever, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but he did one of the things that he was famous for was doing like phone calls to famous people. And
right.
He did one of Sir Walter Raleigh calling
really?
and telling her about tobacco.
Right.
It is hilarious. So if you can find that on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it is hilarious. But yeah.
Trying to find a pen. Whenever we're finished recording, remind me.
Yeah.
I'll write it. There's a pen over there on the table, but I'll not get it now. It's not too late, Gary. It's not too late, mate.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with just noodling around with my instruments and doing my gardening. Yeah.
Well, let me know. I mean, we could maybe even work on something together. I'd like to do that. I've always fantasized about comedy as well.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it's tough. I've been on stage in bands, but never stood there. I can imagine that being a comic is a whole different kettle of fish where there's no avoiding it, you know.
Right. Right. You're sort of naked and you can bomb horribly. And what
Yeah.
do you just burst into flames?
Yeah. Like they call it over in the UK, I think they say dying on your arse whenever you're not doing so well. I think in the States you say you're eating shit. I think.
Yeah.
Do you ever listen to the Joe Rogan podcast? It's a very popular podcast.
I've heard of it. I think he's a little, I don't know, maybe he's a little bit abrasive for me. But you know, being in Chicago, we are the second city,
Yeah,
and the comic group of well-known comics coming out of Chicago is pretty legendary. And so I have my wife and I and family. We go to the Second City reviews that they do, and those guys are just the improv. The improv is what they are most famous for,
okay,
and so people from the audience will shout out a word, and they'll start a story just
that's
from that,
crazy.
and it's absolutely crazy. And you
Reminds
just
me of the Whose Line Was It Anyway? The old show from the
yeah
90s, was it?
yeah. But they are just so inventive and clever and just on the spot being able to come up with something and have the whole audience roaring with laughter
Yeah,
is amazing to
yeah,
me
yeah.
because they're so quick. And
I
I don't
think
think it's anything that you can, I don't know, people might argue that there's something that you can learn. I think it's something you're either born with it. You're either a funny, you have friends that are just a hoot every time you get together with them. They make you laugh. They have got great stories. And if you said the exact same thing they did, nobody would laugh.
yeah, it's the way they say it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that would be a secret that I would tell only you.
There you go. Thank you. Well, listen, we'll end it there. You and I can talk for another quarter of an hour if you wish after this, but I'll end it just to keep it nice for the folks. So, Gary, Old and in the Way, thank you very much. It's been very enjoyable.
Thank you so much for asking me to do this, Cass. It was wonderful. I told you before, you have a talent for interviewing. You've made me feel very comfortable, and I wouldn't be yammering on like this with anyone else. But you did a great job.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much, man. Okay, so we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Cheers.